You are 1.3 centimeters long. You weigh less than a raindrop, and the entire world, every flower, every fruit, every forest needs you to survive. You are a bee, and that right there is your luck. But you don't know that yet, because right now you haven't moved. You haven't opened your eyes. You are still a larva, wrapped in wax, sleeping in the dark, deep inside a hive that is slowly dying. The colony is collapsing, not with a bang, not with fire or drama, just silence. One by one, the foragers leave and don't come back. The queen lays fewer eggs, the honeycomb goes cold, the guards at the entrance grow tired. You feel it, even in the darkness of your cell. The warmth is fading, and then a crack of light. The wax seal over your chamber breaks open. Your first breath is cold air and the smell of something wrong. The hive is half empty. The walls that were once packed with tens of thousands of your family now echo with silence. You are born into failure, into a world already unraveling. A worker bee, older, wings torn at the edges from too many miles, finds you and says nothing. She feeds you. She teaches you with her movement, her dance, her direction. You don't understand yet. You only know hunger and something else, something small and unreasonable inside you that refuses to stay still. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "What stands in the way becomes the way." You didn't read it, you felt it. You take your first flight. It lasts 4 seconds. You crash into the hive wall and fall onto the landing board, dizzy, wings humming uselessly. The old worker bee walks past you without stopping. Good, there is no one to tell you that you can't. The world outside the hive is enormous. You had no idea about the sky, the actual, open, infinite sky, stretching in every direction like something that was never meant to have a ceiling. No idea about the wind, which doesn't care how small you are. No idea about the flowers, millions of them, each one a world of color and scent and life, so overwhelming that you have to land just to think. You land on a dandelion, humble, common, overlooked by everyone, and you realize even the forgotten things are full of something worth finding. You gather your first pollen, your legs turn gold, you're clumsy, slower than every bee you've ever seen, and you get lost 3 times on the way back to the hive, but you get back every time. The other foragers return with more. Their dances are precise, confident, efficient. Yours is uncertain, stuttering, barely readable. The younger bees watch you with something between pity and confusion. But the hive needs what you bring. Every drop counts. Every grain of pollen matters. Rumi wrote, "You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop." You didn't read that either, but you live it, returning to that dandelion field again and again, learning the wind, learning the light, learning which direction the sun moves when the hours change. You begin to get better, quietly, invisibly, the way real growth always happens. Then comes the storm. Not a metaphor, a real storm, dark, violent, fast, that descends on the meadow in the middle of your longest flight. The wind hits you like a wall. Raindrops the size of your entire body hammer you from above. Your wings are useless against it. You fall. You land on a leaf, soaked and trembling, a long way from home. The hive is gone from your navigation. Your pheromone trail has been washed away. The sun, your compass, is gone behind black cloud. You are alone in the way that very few creatures ever experience alone. Not just physically, cosmically. Every signal you have ever used to find your way, gone. Here is where most stories end. The philosopher Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." You are a bee. You have never heard of Epictetus,
But you wait. You hold on to the leaf with every one of your 6 legs while the world tries to shake you off. You wait for one break in the clouds, one beam of light. It comes. Weak for 2 seconds, but it comes. You memorize it and you move. Not flying, too dangerous. You walk across a leaf, down a stem, through the wet grass. You walk for what feels like forever, following the memory of that 1 second of sunlight, recalibrating with every step. And then the smell, wax, propolis, the specific frequency of 10,000 wings. Home. You don't run, you walk, steady, deliberate, back to the hive entrance. The guard bees scan you, let you in. You collapse on the honeycomb and sleep. When you wake, the storm is gone.
And you are different. Spring comes fast this year. The meadow explodes, wildflowers in every direction, lavender, clover, apple blossom, sunflower. The other foragers spread out, each claiming territory, each optimizing their route. But you, changed by the storm, changed by the long walk home, you go further, past the lavender, past the sunflowers, past the edge of every map you've ever seen other bees use. And you find it, a field, hidden behind a ridge, a field no bee from your hive has ever visited, clover as far as your compound eyes can see, untouched, unopened, absolutely full. You fill your baskets, both of them. You are so heavy with pollen you can barely fly. And you make the longest, most complicated dance in your life when you return to the hive, waggling the precise angle, the precise duration, the precise vibration that will send your sisters exactly where they need to go. They follow you back, all of them. The hive that was dying 3 seasons ago now has more honey than it can hold. The queen begins laying again, fast, prolifically, with the urgency of a colony that has rediscovered its future. New cells are built, new bees are born. The hive, which once went silent, now hums so loud the meadow hears it. And it started with you, lost in a storm, walking through wet grass, following 1 second of light. Albert Einstein said, and yes, you still haven't read it, in the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. You didn't find opportunity, you made it, with your body, your memory, and a refusal to stop moving. Summer peaks. You are old now by bee standards. Your wings show it, slightly frayed at the edges, just like that first worker who fed you in the dark. You have flown more miles than you can count. You have danced more times than any bee who came before you. You have brought the hive back from the edge of something that had no name. The younger bees watch you the way you once watched the older ones. They see a bee who always goes further, who always comes back, who survived a storm by walking and found a hidden field by being lost. They don't know the full story. They only know the honey, the abundance, the thriving colony. But every cell of every honeycomb in that hive carries something of what you gave it. Every new bee that hatches into warmth instead of cold silence. Every flower that gets pollinated. Every fruit that grows heavy on a branch in an orchard you will never see. That's you. That's yours. That's the quiet, invisible, magnificent legacy of a creature who was told by the world, by the emptiness, by the silence of a collapsing hive, that it didn't matter. You mattered. Winston Churchill said, "We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give." You gave everything, to every flower, to every sister, to a future you helped build without ever standing still long enough to be thanked for it. So here is what I need you to understand before this video ends. You were not born into ease. None of us were.
You were born into a world already in the middle of falling apart, and that is not a disadvantage. That is your training ground. The storm that almost destroyed you, it taught you to navigate by memory, by instinct, by 1 second of light. The field you found it because you went further than everyone else, not because you were the fastest, not because you were the biggest, but because you did not stop. You are 1.3 centimeters long. You weigh less than a raindrop, and you changed everything. That is your luck. That was always your luck. Not the easy beginning, not the calm sky, the fact that you kept flying. Now ask yourself, what is your hidden field? What is the clover on the other side of the ridge that no one from your world has ever reached because they stopped at the sunflowers? Go further. Come back. Dance your direction, because the hive is waiting, and it needs what only you can bring. Like this video if a bee just changed the way you see your own life. Subscribe because we have more stories exactly like this one. And drop a comment. What storm in your life taught you the most important lesson? See you in the next one.